We're back with Greg Kim, the founder of and partner in Vantage Counsel, LLC.
Can you talk a little bit more on that business building concept and how that would be different from your typical billable hours for an attorney?
It was about 5 to 7 years ago I realized, and this might sound a little silly, that law can actually do good. For the longest time, so you guys are laughing, that's the strategic advantage we have because everyone likes to put down lawyers and the legal profession, and while I think it's a admirable profession, to some extent we deserve that, but I realize that we can do good, with the tool of the law. And then through the years, I've heard just about every complaint in a book from clients, just because, we did the work, we billed them, and then they don't pay the bill or they complain about it. Complaints ranging from, you're spending too much time on this, why is this person on it, on and on and on, because time is equivalent to money in that model. So it just came to a realization that we needed to do something different with the legal profession. And there were other models out there, businesses that have done quite well billing and collecting. For example, consultants, right? They'll scope a job out. They'll say it's going to be X $1,000, and that's the price. You pay us some up front, you pay us on a deliverable, and then you pay us at the end. Well, we've adapted that approach to our model where we can properly scope the work to say, look, the financing is going to be however many thousand. You pay us 25% down, 25% on a deliverable, and balance at closing.
How long did it take to develop that evaluation process? Because that's pretty important.
Well, that's a key. And in the startup work I did it when I was at Goodsell, because we've done a number of deals.
Okay.
I did financings for Hoku Scientific, Hoana, Hawaii Biotech, a lot of different companies. So we got pretty good at speccing
in the same type of model.
Right. We would do a private venture financing, basically, or angel financing. So we knew about how much time it would take. To spec out something, you have to feel pretty comfortable. Although I would also add that to spec out something properly, you have to think about value add. If you're doing something for the very first time, the traditional model is charge the client to learn, and then you get better at it, and then use that experience to attract the next client who you charge less to. Well, of course, that's another complaint you hear from clients. Why do I pay for you to learn that? Mm-hmm. And we should listen to our client because they're a customer. That's the legitimate point. So the point is you should figure out what the fee should be, and that's what you should charge, even if it takes you longer. And so when we look at a new area of law that we'd have to learn, we think, is this a good investment of time? And if we don't see the application going forward in other projects, we'll tell the client that and say, we've looked at this. We don't think it's a good investment of our time because it's going to be a one-off thing. And because of that, we'll have to charge you more for it. And it's your choice whether you want to do it or not. But we tell them up front, if it's something that we're going to do repetitively, we discount our time to match the value.
That would be a red flag, though, coming up if you're the company, right? Going, whoa, these guys who have done this over and over again now don't want my business in terms of this full scope regard.
Well, if it's something we've done over and over, we won't charge them. We'll charge them a fixed fee, and we know what it should. I'm talking about something we've done that we've never done before.
Okay.
Sometimes people will come to us and say, "Can you do this?" And the amount of time it would take to get up to speed is pretty significant. And so we're happy not to charge a client so long as we can use that knowledge going forward.
Are you staying primarily in a hyper-focus of startups in certain industries, so that way you don't have to learn a bunch of new industries?
Well, we're not so industry specific as we are about corporate formations, business formations. We represent a lot of emerging companies, but that's because there's a big push now to create an industry in Hawaii of those sorts of companies. But we represent smaller businesses and businesses not necessarily going global. Our requirements are that they be ethical, that it be a clean industry, and that they be a good business, that we've decided they're a good business to invest our time in. So, it ranges from restaurant businesses. We have one business that's focusing on, they have an awesome hot dog.
Oh, yeah?
They've been asked to franchise that by many, many people.
They make the hot dog themselves or something? Or?
They make it. They have their own proprietary system. They're off island, and they have one restaurant that's going gangbusters, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what do we do now? And they gave us a call. We said, we'd love to help you. I sort of see us as almost like the Ghostbusters of law firms, in the sense that we see a situation, we want to be called in, and we want to help, not necessarily rescue a company, but we want to partner up with them to become successful. Our model involves not only the legal work. One of my lines is the legal work is the means to the end, not the end. So in a traditional law firm, sometimes you get carried away a bit with the law being the end, and how smart we are at the law. But really, it's something to get through. It's not something that in and of itself is to be launched. It's the business that you want to succeed. But yeah, company building, so we can help people find employees. We try to build a wide network of people. We can help people find investment. We're not finders, though, so I always tell people we can make introductions and try to match people, but the company ultimately has to raise the money. And we know people on the mainland, that they can connect to if they're trying to seek venture capital funding. And we've actually invested a lot of time learning how to do this work just the same way they do it in Palo Alto.
Yep.
Because we want to give our companies every advantage if they have to seek capital on the mainland, to look just like any other company. For example, we do Delaware incorporations because that's the place investors want you to incorporate. So for good reason, but we've learned to do that.
That's exactly what it sounded like, because I know that as we had talked to Silicon Valley attorneys before, in Venture Law Group or Wilson Sonsini, that's the same type of model.
Right.
Building it not just law, but making introductions needed, helping you in your plan. Helping you actually exit. In
Silicon Valley, the top lawyers don't have a piece of paper on their desk. Now, I'm not advocating that, that approach for attorneys here, and I think I'll always like to do the work because I enjoy doing the legal work. But what they are called are human brokers, and what that means is they have a huge Rolodex of people that they can help the entrepreneur meet. And you think about it, you're starting out a business, you have not much resources. Who do you talk to? Investors aren't ready to talk to you. Family and friends might talk to you, but they don't know anybody. Accountants will generally want to get paid for their time. So who do you talk to? Well, the attorneys are one of the few people that you could talk to. And Wilson Sonsini started out actually helping companies, not because of the equities they ultimately get in these companies, but because they want to develop really good clients for the future. And that was like 20 years ago, and look what happened to them now.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.